The film centers on Debbie and Pete, a married couple grappling with the realities of middle-age, declining intimacy, and mounting financial pressures. The opening scene immediately sets the tone, with Pete attempting to spice up Debbie's birthday sex with Viagra, leading to an awkward and hurtful revelation for Debbie. Pete admits his struggles with erectile dysfunction, attributing it to aging, while Debbie blames his unhealthy diet and high cholesterol, referencing a Dr. Oz segment on penis veins. Their conversation highlights a growing disconnect and unresolved issues in their relationship. Their two daughters, Sadie and Charlotte, provide a chaotic but loving backdrop to their parents' struggles. Sadie, the older daughter, is engrossed in watching an excessive number of lost episodes, much to her parents' dismay, leading to arguments about screen time and brain melting. Charlotte, the younger, enjoys simple pleasures like trampolining. The family dynamic is marked by familiar domestic squabbles, sibling rivalry, and the parents' attempts to manage their children while dealing with their own anxieties. Debbie, approaching 40, is particularly sensitive about her age, dreading the societal expectations associated with it. She expresses anxieties about shopping at old ladies' stores and feels a pressure to maintain her youth. This insecurity extends to her physical appearance, as seen when she struggles with clothes not fitting and later attempts to work out with her friends, lamenting her body compared to theirs. Her friends, however, offer contrasting perspectives on sex and relationships. One friend, who claims nerve damage from a C-section has left her numb, ironically states, "She's the happiest I have ever been without sex." Another friend suggests Pete's use of Viagra might indicate their relationship is stale. Pete, meanwhile, faces mounting financial stress from his record label, which specializes in retro artists. His accountant informs him of missed mortgage payments and urges him to come clean with Debbie about their dire financial situation, suggesting selling their house as a solution. Pete is resistant, knowing Debbie would oppose it. His professional life is also struggling as he tries to market an aging rock star, Graham Parker, to a seemingly uninterested public. He clashes with a colleague over the promotional strategy, wanting to present Parker as a timeless rock icon, while his colleague points out that most of Parker's original fans are gone. The comical interaction with Graham Parker himself, who is preoccupied with gout and Oreos, further underscores Pete's professional frustrations. The couple attempts to address their issues by creating a list of resolutions: exercising more, spending more time alone, going to therapy, which Pete finds pricey, reducing stress, being more patient with the kids, and working on their anger. Debbie also wants Pete to stop smoking and stop being guilt-tripped by his father, who she believes is financially dependent on him. Pete, however, struggles with genuine commitment to these changes. A new source of tension arises when Jody, an employee at Debbie's store, suggests that Desi, their best employee, might be stealing money. Debbie, initially dismissive, becomes concerned when she learns the missing amount is $9,000. Despite the potential theft, they hesitate to fire Desi because her sales are crucial to the store, barely breaking even. This financial strain adds another layer of anxiety to Debbie and Pete's lives, highlighting their precarious situation. The film subtly weaves together these personal and financial anxieties, creating a portrait of a couple grappling with the messy realities of life, marriage, and aging. The film continues to explore the marital and personal struggles of Debbie and Pete. Their sex life remains fraught, with Debbie accusing Pete of lacking passion and criticizing his flatulence in bed. This leads to humorous but poignant arguments that highlight their diminishing intimacy. Simultaneously, their daughters Sadie and Charlotte continue to create domestic chaos, with Sadie engrossed in her phone and unwilling to engage with her younger sister, while Charlotte remains playful but often a source of sibling conflict. Sadie, particularly sensitive about her weird body changes, pushes Charlotte away, revealing her own teenage insecurities. Debbie grapples with her impending 40th birthday, openly lying about her age to a gynecologist and expressing a desire to avoid the perception of being an old lady. She pushes for healthy living, including eliminating gluten and sugar from their diet, much to her family's chagrin. Her attempts to limit screen time for her daughters by getting rid of Wi-Fi lead to further family clashes, with Sadie protesting her inability to do homework and criticizing her mother's ridiculous rules. Debbie tries to encourage traditional outdoor play like building forts, but her daughters are unimpressed, highlighting a generational gap. Meanwhile, Pete's financial woes deepen. His record label is on the verge of collapse after Graham Parker's album sells a dismal 300 downloads. Pete's business manager reveals the extent of their financial crisis, including missed mortgage and office rental payments and the significant amount of money Pete has lent his father over the years. Pete's father, in a bizarre and darkly humorous conversation, reveals that Debbie's mother initially wanted to abort her and that pizza saved her life, using this as leverage to justify his continued financial dependence. Pete is desperate to save his business, even resorting to taking a drawing by John Lennon, which he believes is valuable, from his father to sell. The tension escalates when Debbie confronts Desi, her employee, about the suspected theft. Desi's new expensive car and her casual admission of only wanting a fucking Porsche reinforce Debbie's suspicions. However, Debbie's focus quickly shifts when Desi invites her to touch her breasts, praising their firmness in contrast to Debbie's post-childbirth body. This interaction subtly reveals Debbie's own body image insecurities and her vulnerability to external validation. Amidst these struggles, Debbie discovers she is unexpectedly pregnant with their third child. This news, despite Pete's earlier declaration that having 3 children would lead him to put a bullet in my head, is met with a complex mix of shock, relief, and a forced sense of thrilled acceptance from Debbie. The film concludes with Debbie and Pete trying to reconcile their differences and newfound challenges. They discuss their fights, acknowledging their individual flaws, and even humorously fantasize about how they would murder each other if pushed to the brink. They decide to eat a medical marijuana cookie, seeking an escape from their problems and a way to reconnect, symbolizing their desperate attempts to find happiness and intimacy amidst the chaos of their lives. The film leaves them in a state of hopeful, albeit drug-induced reconciliation as they ponder their future and the impending arrival of another baby. The film continues to depict Pete's failing record label as his attempts to revive Graham Parker's career through a concert are met with a dismal turnout, prompting Pete to realize the dire state of his business. Amidst this, Pete's assistant reveals she's taking a job at Sony, a company Pete once worked for, leading to a bitter exchange where Pete, feeling betrayed, warns her about his former colleague. Debbie, at the same concert, finds herself unexpectedly propositioned by a younger, attractive man. While she enjoys the attention and flattery, she ultimately declines, revealing she is married, has 2 children, and is now pregnant. This interaction highlights her underlying insecurities about aging and her longing for validation even as she grapples with the responsibilities of her family. In a candid conversation, Desi confesses to Debbie that she works as an escort, clarifying that while it's not technically prostitution, she always sleeps with her clients. She downplays the frequency but then admits to doing it up to 40 times a year in one instance, all while maintaining it's safe. She then implicates Jody as the thief at the store, calling her a pilled-out whore. This revelation throws Debbie into further disarray as she grapples with the betrayal and the implications for her already struggling business. Debbie confronts Pete about his financial deception, including the missed mortgage payments and the significant amount of money he has lent his father. Their argument escalates, devolving into mutual accusations and personal attacks despite their therapist's advice to communicate respectfully. Pete confesses to taking Viagra for 2 years, having high cholesterol, eating 6 muffins, and giving Charlotte antibiotics without Debbie's knowledge, seemingly trying to shock her into understanding his despair. The fight culminates in a raw discussion about their lack of passion and their fear that their marriage is merely a functional arrangement for their children. Debbie bitterly suggests they wouldn't be together if she hadn't gotten pregnant years ago. Pete, however, refuses to engage with that hypothetical. The ongoing conflict between their daughters also comes to a head. Sadie's hostility towards Charlotte escalates, prompting Debbie and Pete to confiscate her phone and computer after discovering she's been reading their texts and gossiping about them. Sadie retaliates with a furious outburst, cursing at her parents and accusing them of hypocrisy, highlighting their own constant fighting and judgmental behavior. She reveals her distress over the Lost series finale being spoiled due to her limited screen time, symbolizing her feeling of being robbed of her own experiences. Later, Pete has a heated confrontation with Joseph's mother at school, who accuses Debbie of verbally abusing her son. The argument quickly devolves into threats and insults, with Pete defending Debbie and escalating the conflict further. This public display of aggression reflects the simmering rage and frustration both Pete and Debbie harbor. The film concludes with Debbie confronting Jody about the theft. Jody, high and incoherent, offers a bizarre non-apology, further solidifying Debbie's disillusionment. In a moment of vulnerability, Debbie seeks advice from a friend, discussing the complexities of their marital woes and the possibility that they are both wrong about everything. They decide to forgive each other for their recent fight, recognizing that their anger stems from deeper issues related to their own parents. The final scenes show the family preparing for Pete's birthday party, with Sadie still fuming over Lost. Despite their attempts to move forward, the underlying tensions and unresolved issues remain, hinting at the continuing challenges they will face as a family. At Pete's 40th birthday party, Debbie's estranged father Oliver makes an appearance, leading to an awkward introduction to Pete and the children, who now have another grandpa. Debbie's personal trainer Jason flirts openly with her, boasting about his ability to transform bodies and even objectifying Debbie's after figure to Pete. Meanwhile, Pete's long-standing financial struggles are brought to light by Debbie during a toast where she publicly declares her forgiveness for those who have caused her pain, implicitly including Pete and her father for their financial issues and abandonment, respectively. This sparks a heated argument between Debbie, Pete, and Pete's father Larry about money, family obligations, and past grievances. Larry, ever the instigator, even attempts to solicit money from Oliver, further escalating the tension. The celebration devolves into a full-blown family argument, exposing deep-seated resentments and insecurities. Amidst the chaos, Debbie is caught smoking by Sadie and Charlotte, who then discover her pregnancy. The news, combined with Debbie's denial of smoking despite being caught red-handed, adds another layer of drama to the already strained family dynamics. The girls' reactions range from Charlotte's excitement for an Asian baby to Sadie's frustrated outburst about not wanting another sister and her parents' hypocrisy. The party ends abruptly, with Larry's dramatic exit nearly causing an accident with a cyclist, further highlighting his reckless behavior. Later in the hospital, where Pete is recovering from a broken rib sustained in the bike accident, Debbie's father offers her some unexpected wisdom, suggesting that Pete's resilience comes from Debbie's fighting spirit. He also, in a poignant moment of self-awareness, admits that his own emotional unavailability has hurt his children. Debbie and Pete finally have a heart-to-heart, confessing their fears and insecurities about their marriage and the impending third child. They acknowledge their flaws and express their love, seemingly reaching a new level of understanding. The movie ends with Pete and Debbie at a Ryan Adams concert, a moment of shared joy, but then abruptly cuts to a replay of Catherine, Joseph's mother, having a public meltdown, screaming and cursing at Jill, another mother, showcasing the continuing unresolved anger and chaos that still linger in their lives despite their personal breakthroughs. If you enjoy watching this video, then subscribe to Angel Recaps for the latest movies explanation.